just ahead on CTV News.
Big snowfall expected this weekend. How can you get prepared? I'll have that story coming up for you on CTV News.
Maryland's governor makes a stop to a hospital here in Prince George's County. I'm Katera Jones. I'll have all the details on why the governor was here coming up on CTV News.
Plus, immigrant rights advocates are in Annapolis today rallying to end 287G agreements in the state of Maryland. I'm Jonathan Hunter. I have more on what they said coming up.
These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for January 22nd. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us.
And the story everyone's talking about tonight, the DMV region is preparing for a huge snowstorm set to come this weekend.
CTV's Brandon Williams has more on how the response efforts from our local departments.
As the snowstorm approaches the DMV this weekend, it is imperative for Marylanders to get ready now and not later because this storm is expected to pack a punch.
Really want residents to prepare in advance so they're able to stay at home when the snow is falling, so they're able to be safe at home.
Being safe at home is the best bet for county residents. Governor Wes Moore declared a state of preparedness on Wednesday with the likelihood of ice, sleet, and snow. Chief of Communications for the Department of Public Works and Transportation, Angela Roussan, believes her team is ready to deal with those conditions.
So we have our trucks ready, we have de-icing solution, we have enough salt. We have never and don't plan to ever run out of salt. So we are ready there. Our crews are ready, our staff is ready, and we're ready to go.
Residents are urged to gas up their cars, stock up on emergency supplies, and adhere to the guidance of state officials and departments. DPWT is prepared to respond with 151 trucks with plows and spreaders.
Our crews spend most of their time while the snow is falling on the primary roads. Then once the snow is stopped, that's when they go into the residential neighborhoods. So it takes a bit of time. So once the snow is stopped, everybody will not immediately see a snow plow, but we will get there, and we're working to get there.
Now, before the storm makes landfall on Saturday evening, Arctic temperatures are expected to impact our region on Friday evening, but the best way to remedy that is to simply stay indoors. Reporting in District Heights, Brandon Williams, CTV News.
All right, thanks, Brandon. CTV News will keep you updated on this incoming storm as more information comes in.
And as the region is preparing for one of the biggest snowstorms in years, residents at another Prince George's County condo complex are left without heat. According to management of Cherry Glen condominiums, one of the boilers broke, but they've been sent out emails to residents warning that it could take a few days to fix. Management says they are working on getting this boiler problem fixed as soon as possible.
The suspected driver of the fatal crash into a children's birthday party back in October has now been indicted on 36 charges. According to court documents, 66-year-old Sunday Joseph reversed his vehicle in the front yard of a Bladensburg home, killing 31-year-old Ashley Hernandez Gutierrez and injuring 8 children and 6 adults. He then fled from the scene and was arrested the next day. Joseph is charged with grossly negligent manslaughter by motor vehicle, hit and run involving serious bodily injury, and more. He's due back in court on February 13th.
And meanwhile, Maryland hospitals tackle a surge in respiratory illnesses.
The state is giving out big bucks to help address this growing issue. CTV's Katera Jones is inside the University of Maryland Capital Region Health Center with more.
Maryland health leaders and hospital officials are sounding the alarm when it comes to the surge in respiratory illnesses. The state says we are now at a point where hospitals are being impacted.
In December alone, 10% of the patients in hospitals' emergency rooms were sick with respiratory illnesses.
Respiratory illnesses like RSV, COVID, and the new flu strain has been hitting Maryland hospitals hard and putting pressure on resources. To combat this growing issue, Governor Wes Moore announces $164 million in hospital surge funding.
This funding will make sure that hospitals have support to be able to cover the costs of additional staff. It'll make sure that hospitals have the ability to keep beds open and available. It'll make sure that we can help to manage this surge in flu and RSV and COVID that we are seeing right now.
According to the state, as of January 14th, Maryland has seen more than 4,000 flu hospitalizations, close to 980 RSV hospitalizations, and more than 500 COVID hospitalizations. The University of Maryland Capital Region Health reports having a 30% increase in flu hospitalizations.
We're typically reaching out to agencies, local tenant companies to bring in additional resources. And those are dollars that we plan for the most part, but not at a 30% surge. So bringing in additional nurses, techs, sitters, all of those types of resources are what's necessary to kind of help through the surge.
Health leaders say the state's vaccination rate this season has declined from last year. Here in Prince George's, only 22% of county residents have gotten the flu vaccine.
There has been a lot of confusion around the safety, the efficacy of vaccines that, as we heard from the team here just earlier today, definitely is part of conversations when people are coming into the hospital asking, are vaccines worth it? And that is something that it is very important for all of us together to address.
With the surge in respiratory illnesses, Maryland health officials want to emphasize the importance of getting that flu vaccine. Katara Jones, CTV News.
And health leaders say if you're sick with a respiratory illness and you seek treatment at a hospital, you will be asked to wear a mask.
Meanwhile, Maryland health officials report that more than half of state hospitals have reduced their emergency room wait times in 2025. The Health Services Cost Reviews Commission says 22 out of the 41 hospitals improved their length of stay last year. The executive director credits the long wait times to patients using up available beds while waiting for follow-up care, and that they are now working to free up beds more frequently. The state's Emergency Department Wait Times Reduction Commission will finalize a list of concrete recommendations for hospitals by the end of the year.
And immigration advocates and Democratic lawmakers are pushing to end all 287G agreements in the state of Maryland. The agreements allow local enforcement officials to work with ICE.
Today, CASA officials rallied ahead of a hearing to make their voices heard. Our Jonathan Hunter has the latest from Annapolis.
This legislative session, there's a push to pass Senate Bill 245. This would essentially stop local law enforcement officials from partnering with ICE. Currently in the state of Maryland, there are 8 counties that have active 287G agreements.
Si se puede, si se puede.
Members of CASA stood side by side Democratic lawmakers with a simple message to pass Senate Bill 245. Delegate Nicole Williams sponsored the House version of the bill.
That people who look like me know what happens when masked men demand papers and start abducting people in the streets. And so today we are here to say, not here in Maryland.
Advocates of the bill say 287G programs doesn't actually make the community safer, citing that communities in Maryland without the program are seeing crime reductions. Plus, most of the people arrested by ICE were not charged with crimes.
According to a recent report and cited by the ACLU of Maryland, from September 1st to October 15th last year alone, 2/3 of the 700 Marylanders who were arrested by ICE were never charged with a crime and were never convicted.
During today's hearing, you heard from people on both sides of the debate, including sheriffs from across the state. Harford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor says if this bill passes, lawmakers will be making a big mistake.
It's going to lead to more unrest in the communities, if you will, like we're seeing elsewhere. We don't need that here. And it's going to lead to more crime in that we're going to have to open our doors to offenders to go back out into the community to reoffend.
Sheriff Gaylor says the counties that have a 287G program are seeing the benefits.
This has been working great. It's worked seamlessly from the time we've come in under a Democrat. President Obama expanded the program and put my agency into it.
Advocates are hoping that if the bill is passed, it will start the process of keeping ICE out of the state.
We need a full ban on local cooperation with ICE once and for all to ensure that everyone in our state can live without fear that a traffic stop or a call for help can lead to being kidnapped, physical harm, or deportation.
Senator Will Smith says the bill would not stop police from arresting people for committing crimes, so anyone convicted of a crime will be held accountable. In Annapolis, I'm Jonathan Hunter for CTV News.
And the bill also has the support from Senate President Bill Ferguson.
With Democrats outnumbering Republicans in the state, Ferguson is confident the bill will pass. You're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Coming up, it was the perfect weather today for the Prince George's County Office of the Sheriff to go for a swim.
After the break, find out how the Dunk the Sheriff event is raising funds for Special Olympics Maryland. We'll be right back.
If alcohol builds a wall around you that doesn't let you see where you're going, that keeps you feeling isolated and alone, that makes you feel hopeless, know this: we're here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous, there is a way out. For more information, visit aa.org and download the Meeting Guide app.
Welcome back. Well, if you were driving this morning on 495, you might have seen this brush fire on the right side of the road. This was near the 295 exit in Greenbelt. First responders arrived on the scene around 9 a.m. and there was heavy traffic throughout the area. As of now, investigators are still working to determine what caused the fire. We will keep you updated as the story develops.
Nearly 3 years later, a woman involved in a deadly crash on 450 has now been sentenced to 10 years in prison, suspending all but 3. According to court documents, 39-year-old Angel Rich caused the accident that killed 64-year-old Quentin Francis Jr. in April of 2023. The investigation revealed Rich had alcohol in her system and was speeding excessively during the crash. She has been charged with vehicular manslaughter and will be placed on supervised probation following her release.
And Maryland's next budget comes with a warning: do more with less. Governor Wes Moore rolling out a $70.8 billion budget for fiscal 2027, closing a $1.5 billion gap without raising taxes or fees. The plan boosts funding for education, housing, and public safety, relying on spending cuts, fund transfers, and bond swaps as the state feels the impact of federal job losses and a slowing economy.
What we're doing is making up for that federal disinvestment. So, for example, there's $70 million for gap financing and another $30 million for replacement tax credit incentives for solar that the federal government rescinded. This budget also has $20 million for EV chargers. We've got $30 million for the Clean Building Hub for projects to in low and moderate income multifamily housing, and a variety of programs that help specifically in both the short and long term.
And Republicans aren't sold, with House Minority Leader Jason Buckell calling the proposal accounting tricks that don't rein in government growth, warning bigger problems could be ahead. The budget now heads to the General Assembly, with lawmakers set to dig into the details in the weeks ahead.
Tuesday night, Interim Superintendent Dr. Sean Joseph hosted a State of the Schools address, the first in a decade. In the address, he laid out a clear assessment of current performance and the work still ahead in the county. Dr. Joseph unveiled his strategic priorities for the district. At the top of that list, special education, school safety and security, professional development for teachers and staff, AI literacy in the classroom, and employee compensation.
We looked at programs that had low enrollment. We looked at programs that were redundant, like we had other ways to do the same service in a more efficient way. We looked at opportunities to move dollars to grants. We looked at opportunities to just be more efficient and effective. Look, every dollar has to count, and so we need to make sure that we're getting a return on investment, because what we know is we just don't have hundreds of millions of dollars to continue to give each year. It's going to be a number of years of cutting and investing.
And the State of the Schools address was held at the brand new Suitland High School that is set to open to students in 2 years.
And the Prince George's County Sheriff's Office made a big splash today to raise funds for Maryland athletes. Sheriff John Carr took part in the Dunk the Sheriff event, raising money for Special Olympics Maryland. This is all leading up to the Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge happening next Friday. Sheriff Carr said the cause is always worth the plunge.
I participated in the Polar Bear Plunge several years ago, and we consistently do it. And this is all for our Frozen Stars, who actually go in public safety, go in during our Polar Bear Plunge. So I love my athletes. They can make athletes to come on in, come on in. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed, I appreciate you. Here you go. Let me get y'all right there. There we go. So I appreciate them, and this is all for them.
Again, the Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge will be next Friday at Sandy Point State Park. If you want to join in on the fun, you can register at plungemd.com.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly known as SNAP, has released its SNAP benefit amount for 2026. You'll see on the screen the maximum monthly benefit for a single person is almost $300, while a family of 4 could receive almost $1,000. SNAP benefits are based on household size, income, and certain expenses like child care and utility costs. Now, the minimum monthly SNAP benefits in most states is $24. And still to come on CTV News, a local spa was recently on the brink of closing down. Find out how the owners, with the help of the community, were able to save this establishment.
Plus, a young businesswoman is proving you're never too young to make a difference. We'll be back in a moment.
When a child is fighting a critical illness, there's one truth that touches us all. Every child deserves a childhood. A wish is more than one joyful moment. It sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide, even yours. When we grant wishes together, we unlock something bigger. An irresistible movement of kindness, strength, and unity. A spark that uplifts us all.
The whole spirit of what Make-A-Wish is and does, that isn't just life-changing for one individual or one family. That is world-changing.
Become a wishmaker today and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
Now, you may remember a luxury spa in Bowie who was on the brink of closing its doors just a few weeks after its grand opening. Fast forward to today, about 4 months later, I caught up with the owner of Sensory Sentiments and share how the spa is holding up.
I hate sending my staff home. I hate letting anyone go. It's the worst feeling in the world. So if a miracle was to be granted today, it would be that we get some angel investors.
An owner's prayer for a luxury Bowie spa threatened with closure after just a month of being open. That prayer was answered.
Through the events, through all of the guests coming in, we have been able to gain financial support from the county, as well as just get our revenues up to where we are tracking in the right direction and are firm in being a staple here.
Sensory Sentiments Massage and Wellness Spa received funding from the county, has been paying down on their loan, came to terms with their landlord, has been named the top wellness spa in Maryland by Top Doctors in Beauty, and has created more jobs in the county. She says all of this is thanks to local news coverage, social media,
I don't know about you, but I'm prioritizing my health and wellness in 2026.
And the community support.
I had no clue what the future held. You know, I had no clue. I just had prayer. And prayer works. to the point where we have actually incorporated a Give It to God box in our spa for our guests. It truly does work. Community works.
A community that 45-year-old Vittel says she's giving back to by partnering with other businesses in the county. One of those businesses is Art of Rest, that plans to use the spa's event space next month.
One of the challenges that we have here in the city of Bowie is not just attracting business, but for maintaining business long term. And because Nadine is a staple in our community, it's important to me that my brand comes here to champion her as a business owner and to work alongside her as a partner so that she will, in fact, have a long-standing presence here.
To keep up with the spa's momentum, Vittel plans to help business owners who face challenges like the one she did and provide more spa offerings to clients. She says it's the least she can do for a county who responded to her desperate call.
Prince George's County residents heard me and they came out. Social media has helped us to explode, and we now have a whole new audience of people who are looking for a place to practice self-care.
And Sensory Sentiments is offering special deals for Valentine's Day to continue their momentum. For more information about the spa, visit sensorysentiments.com.
An Army vet from the county has won the largest racetracks prize in the game's history. The big winner, going under the alias Irish Luck, claimed the $660,000 prize at Maryland Lottery headquarters. Mr. Luck characterizes himself as an occasional racetracks player and says he never watches the games as they play out. Instead, he puts the ticket in his pocket and checks it when he gets home. The Army vet told lottery officials he's surprised he didn't have a heart attack. The ticket was purchased in Edgewater.
And are you a student who rides on the MARC train? Well, you'll know and now be able to save some coins because the Maryland Department of Transportation has launched their MARC Student Saver program. It will offer a 50% discount for one-way or monthly MARC train tickets for all high school students and up. All you have to do is register each year and provide updated documentation on your school enrollment status, and you're covered. You can buy your train tickets on the Charm Pass app for the Penn, Camden, and Brunswick lines.
A young entrepreneur is making big moves after getting her start making prom dresses. Now she has opened her own storefront in Capitol Heights.
I want to open a store so people can come in and out. They can have a place where they can see the brand, model, bring their family, bring their friends.
Chelsea Adanuba is just 21 years old, and she recently opened her own brick and mortar in Capitol Heights.
I actually started dresses very recently, my sophomore year of college, which was 2022 to 2023 school year. I saw this girl on TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh, she makes prom dresses and she's my age. And I was like, I want to learn how to do this. So I reached out to her and I was like, hey, can I come down and get a class from you? She's all the way in St. Louis, Missouri. I stayed there for 2 days, and that's how I started sewing dresses, and the rest was history.
But being an overachiever isn't anything new for the recent college grad. She triple majored at the University of Pittsburgh. She's written 3 books, and she says to create these masterpieces, it only takes her 3 days.
Honestly, I think if you look at the pictures, that corset structure, just the beading, it's just, you can tell that it's not bought from a store. It's a custom dress.
Chelsea says it's her faith that helps her along her journey in entrepreneurship.
Proverbs 31:24, it's even on one of my dress bags. Every dress bag that someone gets a dress, it's there. And it says she makes fine linen garments and sells them. I was like, oh, that's what I do.
And she's helping other young women do the same.
Don't be scared, even if you fail, you don't really fail, you're just one step closer to something actually working out for you.
And Chelsea says she hopes to open her store to customers by mid-February. To check out her designs, visit designsbychels.com. All right, sports fans, it's almost time for your favorite part of the show.
That's right. Simon Buggs has our Thursday sports page. What's going on today, Simon?
Hey there, sports fans. Don't move because I have some news from the worlds of high school basketball and tennis coming your way. Stay right there.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
All right, everybody, go ahead and grab a seat because it's time for your Thursday sports page. And for our first story, we go to Harwood as the Largo High School girls basketball squad was in Harwood last night facing off against Southern High School. Now the Lady Lions got off to a bit of a slow start, and these buckets from the Lady Bulldogs helped them get out to a 11-4 lead over Largo. But as the quarter went on, Largo's offense started to wake up. And this layup from Asaya Harris, this steal by Trinity Saunders that turned into a made jumper on the other end from Harris, and this made tray ball from Saunders helped the team end the quarter only down 16-13 on Southern. Southern struggled to find the bottom of the net in the second quarter, leaving the door open for Largo to take the lead. And the Lady Lions did just that as this triple from Noelle Crosby and the made transition layup from Harris helped Largo go into halftime up 20-19. But in the end, Southern retook the lead and came away with the dub, beating Largo 52-49. Largo will square off next against Surrattsville tonight at 6 o'clock. And sticking with news from the Hardwood, the Lady Terps basketball squad will be returning to action tonight versus a Big Ten rival in Iowa. The Lady Hawkeyes have been playing very well this season, sitting at number 2 in the conference. A big reason for that is their offense, and head coach Brenda Freese touched on defending them ahead of the matchup.
When you have teams with an inside-outside game and they force into rotations, I mean, Iowa has 5, 6, snipers from the perimeter, as well as post player after post player after post player. So similar to UCLA, when you're trying to take away one thing on the inside, it impacts the outside. We've got to scramble better. We've got to defensively we've really worked on getting back to some of our fundamental standards and where we need to be in terms of rotations and white line and being able to fix some things. So hopefully that will pay off for us.
Tip-off is at 6 o'clock. Meantime, some exciting news from the tennis court as Hyattsville native Frances Tiafoe took the court yesterday for the second round of the Australian Open. And the 28-year-old ended up advancing to the next round after taking down Francisco Comenza of Argentina in 4 sets. This is the first time Tiafoe advanced to the third round of the Australian Open since 2023. And he only advanced past that round once in his career. Tiafoe's next opponent will be Alex de Minaur of Australia tomorrow. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Capitals lost their 4th straight game last night to the Vancouver Canucks 4-3. Washington will look to snap their losing streak in their game against the Calgary Flames tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And that wraps up your Thursday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, thanks, Simon. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be partly cloudy with light winds. Tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny with a high of 43 degrees. Saturday it's going to be 21 degrees and partly sunny, but we have a 100% chance of snow. 6 to 10 inches is possible. Sunday, snow and sleet is expected before 1 p.m. We'll have a high of 25 and a low of 17.
And for our community calendar, this Friday, the Bowie Playhouse presents the Spitfire Grill. This uplifting story follows an ex-convict as she arrives in Gilead, Wisconsin, a town in need of hope. We follow her story as she starts a journey of renewal. Showtime is at 8 p.m. and for tickets or more information, visit secondstarproduction.org. And do you have a story to tell? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line.
Give us a call at 301-386-4085, or you can send an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org. As always, we look forward to hearing from you. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.